Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are unpacking exactly how to choose your 2026 AI models. The market has completely shifted under our feet, so we're going to look at how you can stop overpaying for AI and drastically improve your system's performance by building a really smart, specialized routing strategy for the year ahead. So let me ask you a question. Are you still routing every single prompt and task to just one default AI model? Because if you're still relying on a single safety net, the way we all did back in the GPT-4 days, you are making a massive strategic error in today's landscape. The founder of Staub AI really hit the nail on the head when they said the days of just use GPT-4 are over. Every production system should now be making deliberate choices about which model handles which task. Treating model selection as this fixed set it and forget it thing, well, it means one of two things is going to happen. You'll either massively overpay for simple tasks or you'll drastically underperform on complex reasoning. It's time for a totally new approach. Today, we're breaking down the 2026 AI landscape into capability tiers. Honestly, think of it exactly like hiring for a company. We'll start with the end of default AI, move on to the frontier heavyweights, check out the production workhorses, and then dive into budget models, specialists, and finally, your overall 2026 routing strategy. All right, part one, the end of default AI and why we're shifting to strategic routing. We are absolutely no longer in the one model rules all era. The market has completely fractured. The crucial concept we need to grasp here is model routing. Basically, this means dynamically sending different tasks to different models based on their complexity, how much money you want to spend, and your latency requirements, which really just means how fast you need the response. Your software needs to act like a smart traffic cop right now, routing tasks in real time to squeeze the absolute best speed, cost, and accuracy out of the market. Which brings us to part two, the frontier heavyweights. Think of these as your executives. These are your incredibly capable but highly expensive models hired specifically for deep reasoning where failure is simply not an option. Models like GPT 5.6 Soul, Claude Fable 5, and Gemini 3.1 Pro boast these massive 1 million plus context windows. To put that into perspective, you can literally upload entire software code bases or hundreds of dense PDF reports in a single prompt. But look at that premium pricing, ranging from $2 all the way up to $10 just for 1 million input tokens. You really got to reserve these heavyweights strictly for when pristine accuracy matters way more than your budget. And keep in mind, these heavyweights don't act like standard chatbots anymore. They operate as end-to-end technical operators. Take GPT 5.6 Soul, for instance. It introduces max and ultra modes designed purely for complex multi-agent coordination. Meanwhile, Claude Fable 5 completely dominates long-horizon autonomy. That means it can actively inspect your systems, write code, test it, and carry that entire context across hours of continuous work without losing the plot. It's wild. Okay, moving on to part three, the production workhorses, aka your middle managers. If the frontier models are your expensive executives, this tier represents the highly reliable managers running your day-to-day operations. When you compare models like GPT 5.6 Tera against Claude Sonnet 5, a really clear pattern emerges. Both deliver near flagship quality on everyday tasks, like writing boilerplate code, summarizing research, and handling standard agentic workflows. But the absolute kicker here is that they do all of this at a fraction of the executive-level cost. The economics of this tier are where you win or lose at scale. GPT 5.6 Tera and Claude Sonnet 5 hover right around $2.50 to $3 per million input tokens. And then you've got Gemini 3.6 Flash offering multi-step planning for just $1.50. If you're processing thousands of customer support tickets or doing high-volume document work every single day, this middle tier is exactly what you should be defaulting to. Now for part four, budget and high-volume models. Let's talk about the tireless interns. Think about massive, repetitive operations, sorting through millions of chat logs, basic message triage. You wouldn't pay an executive a massive salary to sort the mailroom, right? So you shouldn't use a premium model for simple data extraction. 30 cents. That is the actual cost per million input tokens for Gemini 3.5 Flashlight. This tiny price point proves exactly why you need to stop sending every task to a premium model. It is meticulously designed for workloads where blasting through a ton of data quickly is all that really matters. These models are not built for deep philosophical thought. They're your rapid-fire workhorses. Alongside Gemini's crazy throughput, GPT 5.6 Luna gives you incredible classification and extraction for just $1. And Claude Haiku 4.5, it brings a huge 200,000 token context window for fast, lightweight agent loops. The AI can rapidly read a huge document, pluck out a specific fact, and move on instantly without burning through your budget.
All right, part 5, specialists and open weights. Let's look at niche dominance. Because, not every model fits neatly into those top-down corporate buckets we just talked about. Sometimes you don't need a general manager. You need a hyper-specific expert to do exactly one job perfectly. 1679. That is the staggering Elo score, which is a competitive ranking system adapted from chess, achieved by Moonshot's open-weight Kimi K3 model, specifically on the front-end code arena leaderboard. This is where things get really fascinating. An open-weight niche specialist actually beats the massive proprietary giants. Sitting at that 1679 score, Kimi K3 outright outperforms heavyweights like Claude Opus 4.8 and GPT 5.5 Pro in the very specific arena of front-end coding. And that's even though it's just average at general text tasks. In 2026, specialization absolutely wins.
And the broader landscape is shifting rapidly too. Meta is actually moving its frontier work to closed-weight API-only models, meaning you'll have to rent access on their servers. So if your company strictly requires self-hosting for data privacy and control, open models like Llama 4, Maverick, and Scout remain your absolute top choices. Meanwhile, DeepSeek V4 Pro is offering elite performance at roughly 1/8 the price of GPT 5.5 Pro. When you need narrow, specific jobs done securely, these specialists consistently come out on top. Finally, part 6, your 2026 routing strategy. Let's put all of this together. To actually build an AI system that is faster, cheaper, and more accurate, you just need to follow a 3-step framework. First, objectively assess your task complexity. Is it deep reasoning or is it simple data sorting? Second, pick the right capability tier, from your executives all the way down to your interns. And third, use an intelligent routing layer to dynamically send your API calls to the right model in real time, based on those exact needs. But hey, if you take absolutely nothing else away from this explainer, let it be this one vital rule of thumb. You have to evaluate the cost per successful task, not just the base price per token. It is such a common trap to use a cheap intern model just to save a few pennies, only to have it fail, hallucinate, and require 3 really expensive human retries. Actually, scratch that. If a premium executive model finishes the job perfectly on the first try with 0 retries, the effective cost gap between those tiers completely shrinks. You always have to measure the true cost of a finished, reviewed task. So, armed with this structural framework, you're now ready to build smarter, faster systems that don't just burn through your resources. The one-model-fits-all era is over. Done. As you look at your own workflows today in this new world of highly specialized tiers, what task are you going to stop overpaying for and route first?